everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Successful Women's TV show. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen. I am co-founder of Everyday Woman TV and a professional speaker. One of my favorite things to do is to spotlight women all over the world that are doing amazing things by empowering other women. Today, I am excited to have with me Camilla Peterson. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Galit, for having me.
Camilla, where are you joining us from?
I'm actually in Utah.
Where in
and
Utah?
It's snowing outside, so Salt Lake City.
Oh, how beautiful. Where are you?
Yeah.
Which part?
What's that?
Which part?
Salt Lake
Wonderful.
area.
I love it. I love it. So living in the desert, we get really excited when it finally snows just a little bit and it sticks for a day. So I know you guys get a lot more snow on a regular basis, right?
Yes, we're used to it. So it's like no big deal, but still.
I'm sure. No, I just think it's so pretty, but people that live it in every day probably have a totally different perspective, but I just think snow's so pretty. So I'm going to share a little bit about you with everybody so we can go ahead and jump in. I'm excited to talk about our topic today, love, sex, and money. Love, sex, and money is interconnected, which I think will be a really fun topic for us to talk about with the ladies today. So a little bit about Camilla.
Yes.
She's a certified trainer of NLP. If you don't know, that's neuro-linguistic programming, which I love. A timeline therapy and hypnosis since 2018, helping over 100 people that were stuck and plateaued in their business break through the limits of their minds, surprisingly, as they transcended their business mindset. Many of them unlocked themselves sexually, having the best sex of their life with their partner. Woo! I love it. We're going to have so much fun with this topic. After 15 years in business, you became plateaued, and that's when you unlock the potential within yourself. I love that. Quadrupling your income after a short couple of months and continuing to break free from your limitations. How much fun. Being a master in your field, you've left an indelible mark, not only by surpassing records in the corporate world, but also by assisting numerous founders and CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies, increasing their income, as well as granting them invaluable time, freedom, as well as accidentally transcending their sensuality with their partners. I love how you said accidentally. That was fun. It's almost like an indirect bonus, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, when people get rid of their shit and they feel liberated and they get to the next level, we're basically unlocking the creativity point in the sacral chakra. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but yeah, when people actually start loving themselves more and just really unlocking themselves in many areas of their life, especially business, that just kind of naturally they gravitate. I mean, when you love yourself more, you're at a higher vibration. Sex is a higher vibration. Same with even making money. And so, yeah, it just kind of happened. And what I found was after I got people trained and become masters, they want to talk about sex. So it kind of naturally went that way. And so I've been helping people in that area of life now. So it's really fun.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the interconnection of love, money, and sex. First of all, who doesn't like love, money, and sex? Let's just go there.
Right.
You chose 3 words that all are fun and have great vibrations when you allow it to. So let's talk about that for a little bit. I know you just touched a little bit about how with some clients you found that there was this natural progression once they were happy in their love life and in their financial life or business or career or whatever it might be, that now, okay, they gravitated towards being happier and more free sexually, which I love. Let's talk about a little bit about how they're all interconnected, if you can share that with us.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it as a woman, especially a woman that has babies, your body changes a lot throughout those years of having children. And I remember when I had 4 of them, and I had 2 boys first and 2 girls last. And when I had 2 girls, I did not want to be touched. I did not want anything to do with sex. In fact, I was kind of really ornery, and I loved my husband. I didn't like him. I mean, he did this to me, right?
I think
No.
that's pretty common, Camilla. I think that's pretty
Yeah,
common.
it is. So how do you get those? Because then he's feeling rejected and I feel guilty, right? Like there's all these negative emotions going on. Then you have the baby and you're trying to get your body back. And yet your husband or you're likely in a career, or you're raising kids, you've got your own business, or your husband does, either way. And it's like, how do you get your body back and your sensations back and desire? Because then you're tired, right? Or life gets in the way and you get busy. And what happens is couples, they start drifting apart because they're not having sex like they used to. And that
Or
can even
intimacy at
affect,
all, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's
any
a lot
intimacy,
of it.
right? Like,
It's not just, yeah, it's not just the sex, the act of sex. It's also the intimacy
right.
or the connection. So it, for me,
Yes.
being a mom of three, I feel like it all connects. And I think that's really what you're trying to say, is that in some shape or form, it affects your relationship, but it also
Yep.
affects the rest of your life. So let's talk about the chicken before the egg, or the egg before the chicken. Let's have a little
Yes.
fun here. Okay. So love and money. And this is just opinions. Okay. Everybody that's watching and listening, we're just having some fun.
Right.
So take it with a grain of
Yeah.
salt. Love and money.
Yes.
Do you think that they directly relate to when you're feeling loved and when you're financially, let's say, stable or comfortable or whatever it might be? Do you think when those two things are not aligned, then you're just not in the mood to be more intimate?
Well, let's talk about motivation, and I will
Okay.
circle back around.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're either motivated by pain or pleasure, right?
Okay.
So, okay, so if we're feeling pain, because people will have sex because they're in pain, or they will make money because they're scared of the lack of money. So if you can want sex, depending on the person, you can want sex or make money in any stage, however you are. The
Okay.
point, though, is to get rid of all the pain surrounding sex or making money, so that you're actually, instead of being motivated by pain, you're motivated by pleasure. And the more pleasure you feel in your life, in all areas of life, I mean,
Mhm.
money is what makes the world go round, right? It costs money to do anything. And then bringing in money is a totally different strategy. So if you're motivated by pleasure and you're pleasing yourself, I mean, when was the last time you went to the store and you passed by something and didn't buy it because maybe you thought you weren't good enough, or you didn't deserve it, and that the money needs to go to the kids or something like that, right? And
Sure.
so
Sure.
the more even love that you have for yourself, and the more you feel you deserve success and you deserve pleasure in all aspects of life, even the fact that you can take time and take a love bath for yourself, and have some downtime to care and love for yourself, you're going to make more money, and the money is going to feel better and better. And the more you spend money, it's going to be more fulfilling, because it's not out of pain, it's out of pleasure, if that makes sense.
So let's
Did I
talk a
answer
little bit about
that?
this. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about this word pain. I want to clarify it for those that are listening and watchers, because obviously we're not talking about physical pain when you're having sex, or physical pain. Sometimes
Which
people immediately translate. Yes, of course, of course. But when I hear you say the word pain, I hear more of a heart pain or an internal pain, or almost like a pain that you might not even feel. Not everybody understands about chakras and stuff like that, so we're not going to go into great detail, but some of us do
Yeah.
feel sometimes physical pain in our heart, but nothing's wrong with our heart, right? So
Yeah.
let's touch a little bit more about what this pain would feel like, or
Great.
what would it show up as for you in your life, if it's different things that are happening or the way that you're affected.
I mean, how many people have depression? That is a pain of severe, pressed down sadness. Okay.
Okay.
Depression is actually just a label. So it's just you continue to press down sadness and you're not actually facing it and releasing it. So the
Okay.
more you press it down, the more it wants to come up, and it can actually manifest, which I always like to say delete unconscious mind, because I don't want to suggest anything negative. So just for information, when it comes up, that's actually a good sign, because you need to pay attention. You need to actually allow yourself to feel, because what happens is a lot of people will dissociate from their bodies, especially if they've gone through a lot of trauma. But they don't even have to go through trauma. It could just be a numbing of oneself because of where they're at and they're not ready to face something. But pain can be even a numbing of oneself, which if you're numbing negative emotions like anger, sadness, fear, hurt, or guilt, those are the major negative emotions, and you're numbing it
Mm-hmm.
and dissociating it, imagine all the positive emotions you're actually avoiding, such as happiness and joy and pleasure and love, and love of self, especially. I mean, how often do we look in the mirror and pick something apart, or how often do
Sure.
we look in the mirror and think, wow, I am a beautiful woman, so pain, and then emotional pain can actually manifest in the physical body. I've helped
Of
people
course.
that have had decades of chronic pain, and it takes 20 minets because we just need to associate back into the pain, which is
Well,
crazy.
let's right. Well, not so much. Our brains are very strong power,
They are.
and
Yeah.
our emotions are also very strong, and our emotions can affect our body in very, very major ways. It's just crazy, but it is crazy, but it is so true. So, what are
Yeah.
some of the ways that you can share with our viewers and listeners that they themselves can work through this pain? Let's give them some solid things they can walk away with. And then in that sense, starting, because of course you work with clients in a larger way, but just to start out, what can they start doing now if they're not feeling satisfied or happy in love, money, and sex?
I would say, I mean, this is a big topic. So I would start looking at all three areas and saying,
Okay.
okay, from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most pleasure I have, 1 being pain. Where am I in each area? What am I
Okay.
being motivated by? Am I more motivated by pain or pleasure? If you're in the middle, well, you're in a sweet spot, yet you still want to be motivated by pleasure. So once you assess where you are, then you can actually break it down. And I do have, I've got a masterclass coming up or once this airs, you could probably watch the replay of how to unlock your sexual desire. So if you're not desiring sex, there's a lot going on that's blocking you. And sex can actually solve a lot of things. And if you're not desiring it, then because it's such a high vibration, and I think as women, I know when I was married for a lot of years and my sexual desire started going away, I started thinking, oh, he just wants sex. He just wants to use my body. And it became more of a chore, or it became, I don't have time for this. It's time to start making your body, the pleasure spots in your body, more sensitive again, being able to have touch. And you can even start by touching yourself. There's a really great book, How to Have as Many Orgasms as You Want.
What a fun
Fantastic.
book.
Yes, it's fantastic because it actually
I
starts with
love it.
you.
I
Yeah, a
love
lot of
that.
therapy, like couples therapy, they start with a couple, but actually you need to start with yourself and find out what's going on inside of you before
Agreed.
you even work with as a couple. And so if
Agreed.
you start
Yeah.
paying attention to yourself and start touching yourself more and seeing how much you actually feel, how much are you associated in your body, and start doing it when you feel good too, because we start
Sure.
we can anchor negative feelings on ourselves, and we want to have positive feelings. So, but that book is really, really good to start empowering yourself and realizing that you have all the power to start turning yourself on and start loving yourself more, and then start making money out of pleasure instead of pain.
Yeah. And sometimes sometimes people use the word pain. What I've used a lot in my lifetime is obligation or need instead of desire or want. And
Yeah.
because everybody kind of associates different words with different things, right, Camilla? So for me, I know that one of my major things was years and years ago, I already did the work, was I don't need money. I want money. And I desire
Yes.
money. Money's good and money's wonderful. So when you add these positive affirmations to love, sex, or money, you now are excited, right? Something as simple as walking into the
Yes.
store and saying, I can't afford this, versus this is not the best decision for me right now, but I'm coming back, right? So you can see the different energy, right? Camilla, you can see that.
Yes.
But I love
It has a
everything
different
you
feel,
said.
right?
Yeah, it has a totally different feel. And I think sometimes we don't stop and think about the way a word feels that we say, or the way a word affects us. But I love everything that you shared with us today. I think more than anything, with so many of the women being around my age and going through not just pain, but also changes in your body again. There we go. I think that I can see the direct connection between love and money and sex, because when the other parts of your life are calm and relaxed and happy, it gives you the overall freedom to just let go and be free. And I think, honestly, I think that's why some women have the best sex of their lives when they're older, because the kids are out of the house, they're grown up, we have less worry, the man doesn't need to be pampered, right? We're living our best lives. But I also believe that it happens at every age. But I love that we talked about this topic. It's so much fun. So I would love for you to tell everybody a little bit about how they can get a hold of you, about your master class, where they can learn more about working with you.
Yes. If you go to Transcend with Camilla, CAMILLA, .com, just go on there, and at the very top, you can register for the master class, or I might have the replay on there. You can watch it. Also, at the very top, there's all my social media links that you can just click on and come follow me. And I'm mostly on Facebook. But yeah, I give lots of tips and tricks. There's a little connection journal. If you feel disconnected with your partner, if you scroll down a little ways, there's a connection journal. It's absolutely beautiful. I give like a love bath recipe with a meditation for you.
Ooh, I'm going to have to grab that myself. And that's on your website, right?
Yeah, it's on my website, transcendwithcamilla.com. Yes,
perfect.
Every woman needs that. Whether you're desiring sex or you're connected, disconnected, anything, it's beautiful.
Yeah, just even if everything's good and you just want to learn something more, why not? I love that.
Yeah, and then it'll send you like 5 snackable tips through your email in the next like 10 days to give you some
how fun
tips. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing with us a topic that a lot of people don't like to talk to, which is unfortunate. Love, money, and sex. 3 things that everybody thinks taboo, which is the most ridiculous thing in my life. But hey, the 3 things that rock, you should be talking about and talking into your life every single day. Camilla just gave us some great tips, right? She just gave us some great tips on how you can start on the journey to relieving the pain and having more desire and pleasure. And please reach out to Camilla and learn more about what she does. And she offers an opportunity to work with her. And she also has some programs coming up. And I appreciate you all watching and listening to another episode of the Successful Women's TV show. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.